Okay, so here we are. Deja vu. Day 5 Sunday, day 5 Monday, day 5 Tuesday. So now it begins. They will start leveling the ground, start running the corner markers and what have you, so they can start putting block up like they did on this other one. So let's see what happens and let's see how long it takes. All we can do is hope for the best. Alright, here we go. Okay, so what's going to happen here, as you can see here, drawing a string along this wall all the way down to the other side, and this will mark the boundary at this end. They're doing the same thing at the other end because this will be the same size as this. However, because there was adjustments made on this one, instead of 3.75 it was 3.5, this will end up here being 1.7 instead of 1.2. So that's okay. It actually worked out pretty good because now we have a little bit more room to walk through here and so on and so forth. So I guess it's okay. But again, like I said, the hardest part is setting this thing up. They've got a new worker today, so maybe they learned from this thing here, and since they already increased the price, making more money, maybe they'll do this in 2 days like they should have done this other one. But we'll find out. Okay, here we go. Okay, so the string has been run from corner to corner, and now they're marking the corner down at the bottom with a plumb bob. So once they do that and they do the one on this side, all they need to do is make sure that the walls will clear the block and they can start laying some block. We'll find out what happens. Okay, these two corners here are a little too far in, so they have to be knocked down. This one here was already done, and this one here, if you look right there on the ground, that chunk has to be taken out. Okay, so here we go, first row. Getting started. Block is being dropped in. We'll see what happens. Okay, so here it goes. Almost down to the other end. Once they make a first layer all the way around, then they can start dividing the 4 compartments. And then after that, it's just a matter of adding and adding. We'll see how far it goes. Right now it's about 11 o'clock. They started this about 10 o'clock. It took them a couple of hours to run all the lines and level and what have you, so we'll see what happens. All right. Okay, here it is. It's coming right along. It will be very exciting to have both of them done and backfilled. We'll see what happens. Okay, so they've gone all the way around. Right now they're taking the measurements for the dividers. Now I've told them 3-4 times already. On this first one, they started measuring over there this way, 392, 392, 392, and the last one was slightly larger. But no, they're measuring from here that way. So we'll find out how close they are. When you try to correct them, they get pretty defensive, and it's unfortunate because I'm the one that has to deal with crooked walls and uneven areas and what have you. But we'll see how close they get. To them, is close enough is close enough. But to me, it has to be measured so that it's only a fraction of a millimeter or something off. But to them, if it's within the meter, it's close enough. Alright, let's see what happens. Okay, here we are at lunchtime. They've got the first row all the way around. They've marked the dividing walls. And then they decided to go to lunch at 11:45. So yeah, all right, let's see what happens. Okay, so here we are, 1 hour and 45-minute lunch, and the complaint is it's taking too long to build it. Now the question becomes, why? With 1 hour and 45-minute lunches, 1.5 hour lunches, 30-40-minute breaks, of course it's going to take a long time. Unfortunately, because of this, they want more money. So it's not the actual working time that's taking too long. It's all the time that is being wasted on long lunches, long breaks, etc., etc. Okay, so we're just going to have to continue and go on and see what happens. All right, here we go. They're started on the second row, and it's well on its way. The dividers are in. So from this point on, it'll move a lot quicker. As you can see, 2 rows here, 2 rows started there, 2 rows here, there. So it's coming along pretty quick. And today they have 3 people putting block down, so we'll see how far they get by 5. But you know, if you have 3 people working, it'll go up pretty quick. Now the thing is, you know, in this business, if you want to make some money, you have to hustle. You have to come early, leave late, because time is money. All right, we'll see what happens by the end of this evening. Okay, so here we are. It's about 4:30, and they are almost done with row 3, which means that there is about 10 more rows after this. Okay, so they just mixed another 2 bags, so I guess they're staying a little later, I guess. We'll see. Okay, so this is the end of the day. Had a bit of a problem with the crew supervisor. If you look here, you can see that it bows down this way. That's because that corner is low. And what he wanted to do was here, all along in here, he wanted to add 12, 15 centimeters to bring it up to where it should be. And I told him, no, you have 10 rows, bring it up a little bit, bring it up a little bit. Hey, get out of there. No. This character wants to jump in there. No, no. What I told him to do is bring it up a little bit at a time. You got 10 rows. And he said no. And I told him, yes, that is not good work. And it is your fault because you failed to measure. And he said, no, they dug too deep. I said, no, you see all that dirt that's piled up everywhere? You put it underneath the block before you put the first row in there, and it won't be low. If you fail to measure, if you fail to use the level, then yes, it's low, and that's what happened. You failed to measure, and a lot of these things, he doesn't want to use a string. For example, all these center rows here, he just eyeballs them. And, you know, it's no big major deal, but it's a problem. If you look at this one here that was made before, you will see a big dip right there. But it's no big major deal. I mean, you still have to render. But we're talking about a few centimeters, you know, 2, 3 centimeters. Here, you're talking about 12, 15 centimeters. And the problem is if you look down here, I made them take it off. That's how much they wanted to add on there. And that's not acceptable. And here, you've got all the cement here. All of this that was just wasted. And according to him, it's no big deal. Well, of course not. He's not paying for it. You know? And I don't buy that. They need to take the time. They need to take the time to measure. They need to take the time to level. Whatever they need to do before they do it. Otherwise, you end up with things like this. If you look at that, that's high and this is low. And then you look at this one, that's high and this is low. You know, that's unacceptable. If you look at this one, it has a bow in the center. But that to me is no big deal because when you get to the top, you can work it out. But this, no. Totally unacceptable. Look at that big old chunk they wanted to add in there. No ways. Now, if they had one row left, okay, well, you have no choice. You've got 10 rows. You've got 10 rows. Work it out. So he got mad. He said he was going home, grabbed all his shit, threw it in the truck, and I told him, go home. I want this done correctly. I don't want this thing collapsing. You know, he wants more money, and he's the one that drives that whole wagon. You know, he doesn't care if there was a contract. He doesn't care about anything. He wants more money. And I get it. But if you want more money, you have to do a better job. And in his case, he did a better job on that one than he's doing on this one. So the more you pay him, the less quality you get? I don't think so. I don't think so. So, according to some of the workers there, they said they would be back tomorrow. So I guess they will be back tomorrow and he won't. And I personally don't care. If he doesn't want to come back, that's fine. That shows me how professional he is. And I would rather that it take 10 days, but be done correctly, than have a whole bunch of, bad deals here and be done in a day. I don't think so. They left this here, and you can see it goes down as it goes down that way. So that tells me that they weren't following the string. I don't know if they put a string in there. And that tells me that they absolutely didn't level, and they did not measure. He has a tape measure attached to his waist. It looks pretty cool, very professional. But if you don't use it, this is what you end up with. Unacceptable. No. And he said it would be just as strong as any. No, I don't care. You've got 10 rows left. Correct it a little bit at a time. And it's, as you can see, right here, that first row starts sinking underground. And as you get down to the corner, it's almost buried. So they failed to put some dirt in there. They failed to level it, and all they had to do is get a level on this corner here to this corner here. Yeah. Anyway, tomorrow's another day. We'll see what happens. Hopefully things work out. I mean, I hate to say it, but if they don't want to do a good job, then go get a different profession or something. You can see thick spots there, very thick spots there. If you look at this here, very, very thick. And what that tells me is they're trying to level because they didn't use a string. And let me show you. Here, this is below the level. And this is definitely below the level. But oh well, tomorrow we'll see what happens. All right, guys. We'll see you tomorrow. Yeah, this is one more thing. This is day 5 Sunday, day 5 Monday, and day 5 Tuesday. And let me tell you, it definitely feels like it's been 3 days in one. Yeah. Anyway. All right. We'll see you tomorrow. Thanks for watching.
ขอบคุณเจ้า
See you next time.
แล้วปะกันแฮมไมนะเจ้า
See you.
บ๊ายบาย